3 people are dead after a shooting in Georgetown this weekend. What investigators have found so far ahead.
Plus, new information is coming to light about the man suspected of shooting and killing Charlie Kirk. The latest from Utah.
Good afternoon. We're dry now, but some of you might get a little rain later on today. The details coming up in First Warning Weather.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
Georgetown police are searching for the person who they believe shot and killed an 8-year-old and 2 adults. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Avery Travis.
And I'm Will Dupree. Officers say they found these people dead this weekend inside an apartment. Officers responded Saturday night to the Georgetown Park complex on Luther Drive near I-35. Police say they now have a person of interest identified. They say they believe the suspect and the victims knew each other. The victims' family members told us they are in shock and desperate for answers.
We don't know much at this time. Like, we really haven't heard much. We don't know much. We just know that they're gone.
If anyone out there has information about the shooting or the suspect in this case, you are asked to call Georgetown Police immediately.
Manor police are reporting a stabbing in a Walmart parking lot yesterday. Police say a juvenile stabbed a woman and sent her to the hospital. The suspect is now in custody. Police say they believe it was a family violence incident.
First Warning Weather.
We'll take you out live now from our KXAN studio camera. A different view this morning. A big blue sky there.
Not too many clouds either, so let's look at the rest of the afternoon with meteorologist Rich Siegel today.
You know, you want to show a different viewpoint from these camera shots every so often, and so this faces the northwest sky right now, and we're seeing just a few fair weather clouds. It's mostly sunny right now from this vantage point, and still mostly sunny over at Camp Mabry, up to 89 degrees right now. The humidity is still in the low 40s, 43%. With light wind. Most of our temperatures now in the mid and upper 80s. We've got a few at 90 degrees right now. San Marcos, one of them. It's 83 at Blanco and 82 at Fredericksburg. You folks may just peak in the upper 80s later on today. The dew point still at 58 at Marble Falls, down to 61 at Fredericksburg and Atlanta. Gosh, that is really dry air that we have out in the hill country right now. And then some low 60s along I-35, mid and upper 60s to some low 70s in our eastern viewing area. So the air is comfortable as it heats up. We're looking at light southeast wind for the area, 5 to 10 miles per hour. These speeds should maintain through the afternoon. Again, looking at low rain chances beginning at about 2 o'clock, lasting till about sunset, which is shortly after 7:30. We're looking at most of this rain if it does develop to affect our eastern viewing area, specifically Fayette, Caldwell, perhaps getting up into Lee and Bastrop counties. So that's the rain for today. And then it does rain again coming up later on in the week. We see no major temperature changes. So for many of us, the summertime heat will continue. And we're watching the Atlantic for the potential next tropical storm. We'll talk about that later on this hour. Avery?
Rich, thank you. We are learning more about the man suspected of killing the young conservative political activist Charlie Kirk.
NBC's Morgan Chesky has been following this story in Utah and has the latest on what authorities are sharing today.
Yeah, right now that 22-year-old murder suspect Tyler Robinson is being held inside this Utah County jail, and authorities tell us that he's being held in a special housing unit where investigators can keep him under close supervision. And since he's been brought into custody, investigators have been digging into his personal past. Over the weekend, Utah's governor telling our own Kristen Welker on Meet the Press that right now Robinson is not cooperating with authorities. However, his roommate is, adding that his roommate is a male transitioning to a female who had no idea Robinson was planning any kind of attack. Now, Charlie Kirk's views on transgender people and trans rights have been openly critical, but authorities say that it's still too early to tell right now whether that relationship had a direct correlation into the attack on Kirk last Wednesday on the campus of Utah Valley University. In the meantime, Turning Point USA, the conservative group that Kirk helped co-found, is planning a public memorial at the football stadium where the Arizona Cardinals play in Arizona. The president confirming he will be in attendance. Turning Point USA also adding that since the passing of Charlie Kirk, they have been receiving inquiries nationwide from college campuses asking to establish chapters telling NBC News so far they've received more than 35,000 requests for more information. In the meantime, as Robinson sits inside this jail, we do anticipate formal charges to come tomorrow. Among those, aggravated murder, which in the state of Utah does carry the potential for the death penalty. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Orem, Utah.
Some public school teachers here in Texas are now seeing backlash after social media posts about Kirk's death. The Texas Education Agency says it will investigate comments and content it calls inappropriate.
Superintendents say they've received a letter from the TEA Commissioner Mike Morath saying some of the posts could violate the educators' code of ethics. In that letter, Morath called for, quote, swift action against any educators who posted these kinds of comments on social media. Already some school districts publicly addressed comments made by their faculty related to the shooting. For example, Klein ISD announced on social media it had fired one employee. Reaction has been mixed on the possible consequences for these kinds of posts.
People still have a First Amendment right to speak out on matters of civil discourse without threats.
Public educators, your opinions are valid, your opinions are important. But as far as keeping it from the classroom to outside of the classroom, I highly, highly encourage you to express your opinion outside of the classroom.
Depending on how they're talking about it, a lot of these teachers may well be removed, and they need to be removed if they are celebrating and encouraging others to celebrate in this despicable political assassination.
Meanwhile, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says his department is tracking any military personnel or civilian employees who have mocked Kirk's death. In a social media post, he said the department will address it immediately, calling it, quote, completely unacceptable. Going in depth, Texas isn't the only state where staff have faced disciplinary action over these kinds of posts. 2 Tennessee universities fired staff members because of posts about Kirk's death. We also know there have been multiple K-12 educators put on administrative leave across the country for their reported social media activity.
Today, the Georgetown Independent School District will receive the findings of its intruder detection audit. The Texas Education Agency does the report to make sure that school campuses have adequate safety and security should there be any danger on campus. The state began pushing more campus safety inspections after the deadly mass shooting 3 years ago in Uvalde.
Today is the last of several meetings with Austin ISD for parents to discuss consolidating some campuses within the district. This will be over Zoom from 6 until 8 this evening. So far, no specific school closures have been announced. AISD is expected to release its draft plan for consolidation early next month, with a final vote expected in November.
Coming up, the White House says National Guard troops could be on their way soon to Memphis. Why the mayor there says he does not want the additional patrols from troops.
And Latino families are turning to tradition to help with healing. Coming up, we are speaking with one of our staff on why this is becoming more common here in Texas. Welcome back, everybody. Latino families across Texas have turned to traditional healers for generations. Their practices, rooted in centuries-old traditions, are passed down within Hispanic communities across the world. While these healing methods were once viewed somewhat negatively by many, often dismissed due to cultural biases or misunderstanding, they are still thriving, including right here in Austin.
So joining us this afternoon to talk more about that as we kick off National Hispanic Heritage Month is our digital reporter and KXAN Plus anchor, Esmeralda Zamora. Esme, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
Always good to have you on the show. You bring some sunshine for us. So let's back up just for a moment because your story right now is trending on our website. It's very interesting if people want to give it a read there. But what got you looking into this exactly?
Yeah, you know, that's a question a lot of people have given me. But growing up in a Hispanic community, in a Hispanic household, it was always my grandmother, my aunts, my mother. If me or my cousins were ill, we had a headache, the first thing they did was whip out an egg and rub it all over our bodies. And somehow it went away. I don't know how, but I trusted it, you know, and I thought to myself, I've never asked the question of why does this work? Who did you learn this from? Where did it come from? And why do we do this? So I thought asking local healers here would kind of paint the picture of where I come from and what my ancestors knew and did growing up.
Yeah, journalism 101 there.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Ask the question. So for people who are unfamiliar, your story does a great job of breaking down the different types of healers that folks might see if they start to look into this. So give us an overview of what this really is for people who may not know.
Yeah, so in the communities across the Texas-Mexico border, the biggest healer you're going to find is a curandero. And cura, the word cura in Spanish means to heal. But that's an umbrella term. That's what I learned. And there's so many more. You have sobadores, who are massage healers. You have candle workers. You have herbalists, you have spiritualists, there's also people who work with deities, santeros, and all different types. And what I learned is that each one individual has the same characteristics. They all share some of the similar practices. And the umbrella term curandero is what you're going to find here in Austin mainly.
And you addressed even some of the skepticism and perhaps negative views that some have for these practices. Where is that all coming from exactly?
Yeah, so this is part of history. You know, there's always going to be skeptics, and the individual that I spoke with, his name was Ricardo Gonzalez. He's been practicing here in Austin specifically for over 30 years, and he says skeptics are his biggest customers. You know, they are not as trusting as someone who grows up in this kind of environment, but they want to know why this works, and they go to curanderos or healers to kind of heal stuff that's within them or stuff that they think like a regular doctor is not gonna fix. So the curandero that I spoke with, Ricardo, said his biggest customers are skeptics, and they come to get cleansings, to get readings, and they question a lot, which, I mean, who wouldn't, right?
Sure.
One of the other things that jumped out to me too is the younger generations, you know, folks your age who are asking these questions. Talk about the shift that some of these practices have seen as, you know, younger and younger people get involved.
Yeah, so these practices are pretty much taught through generations. They're passed down, and if your family or your family member, like you said, is afraid of that negativity, they may not want to teach their children or their grandchildren those practices. So there's a lot of healers here in the community. Some of them, to name a few, are Alexis Arredondo and Eric Labrado, the owners of City Alchemist on East 6th Street. They have a cute little witch shop that their slogan is "Where the Witches Shop," and they do a lot of things. They teach, they have like incense and crystals and all sorts of things that you can purchase. You can purchase books, you can learn from them. They've even written books themselves, and it's just a welcoming community to bring all those individuals who are who were thinking, where did this come from, just like I was, into one place to learn all together.
Yeah, a one-stop shop essentially for that information. Yeah. For anybody that might have not seen your web story just yet, you have another version that is going to be airing this afternoon.
Yes.
When can we see that?
That will be here on KXAN News at 4 p.m. and it's a pretty long story, so I hope everyone enjoys it.
I'm really looking forward to it. That'll be our show, so I'll be happy to introduce it and share it with our viewers out there.
So great. I love too when we get the space to actually have you on and hear a little bit more about the behind the scenes of what goes into such a great story. As Will said, it's on our website right now. Give it a read.
And what's really interesting is Esme usually asks the questions on
right?
Facebook Live, but today you're the subject. Thank you.
It's very fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
And now we're going to ask you some questions.
All right.
Rich.
What's your most important question that you want to know?
What is going on? I haven't been outside in about 4 hours. What's happening out there?
Well, the humidity is dropping as the temperatures increase. We're going to Liberty Hill, the Santa Rita Ranch location, where we are seeing a sunny sky in northwestern Williamson County. We're going to see mostly sunny conditions prevail there through the afternoon. I don't think we'll see too many clouds encroach in Liberty Hill later on today, so a complete, I think, afternoon of sunshine. Our high temperatures today will be back in the low to mid 90s. We had more in the mid and upper 90s yesterday. We had a high yesterday in Austin of 98. Today, with a few more clouds, 95, 96 in that general area, and some in the hill country not escaping the 80s. The humidity, which is very low right now, in some upper 30s to low 40s, will drop into some upper 20s to low and mid 30s later on this afternoon as the air continues to dry out thanks to high pressure. Most, I think, we'll see a little higher humidity in portions of Lee, Fayette, Bastrop, and Cole. I think those numbers may be a tad too low. This is because we have the upper level low that is moving through the western Gulf that will push a little rain from the coast inland and could affect some of our viewing area as we get later into the afternoon. And then this system will be moving out of the Rockies and into the Plain States, and this pulls in moisture. Although too far away for any significant rain, it does lead to a little bit of rain in the area late in the week and into the weekend. And here's what we're talking about by very little rain. Just a few isolated pop-up showers, mainly east of I-35, and primarily it looks like for parts of Bastrop, Lee, Fayette, and Caldwell counties, with maybe trace to 0.01 expected. And then after dry weather tomorrow and Wednesday, and I think most of Thursday, we still might find an isolated shower Thursday. It really is Friday into Saturday and Sunday that we see a slightly higher rain chances, isolated to widely scattered. And again, most of that will fall mid to late afternoon into the early evening. Now, as far as rain totals during that period, it looks like, based on present trends, a tenth of an inch or less from through the hill country, and then from I-35 eastward up to a tenth of an inch. But a few numbers may go higher than that, maybe up to just shy of a quarter of an inch in parts of Caldwell and Fayette counties. Air quality today, moderate again for ozone and fine particulate matter. And today's solar forecast again sees a sunny, mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky, but still all in all another good day, as we have several days of that to harness this wonderful solar energy. 95 today, 96 tomorrow and Wednesday. Will be in the mid-90s for the majority of our high temperatures for the rest of the week into the weekend, with a low chance of rain today and Thursday, and a little higher, if you want to call it that, for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
All right, thank you, Rich. Still to come this afternoon, new laws aim to give rural Texans better access to health care. We'll go over some of the bills that Governor Greg Abbott signed to help do just that. Welcome back, everybody. The time right now is 12:23 on your Monday afternoon. A live look from Williamson County there in Santa Rita Ranch in Liberty Hill. Very few clouds in the sky, and temperatures warming up this afternoon. We'll get an update about what else is in store for your work week ahead with Rich Siegel in just a few moments.
Texas is investing in rural health care. Governor Greg Abbott ceremonially signed a pair of bills here in Austin to try and do just that.
KXAN's Adam Schwager breaks down how these new laws aim to help rural Texans get a better and faster health care experience.
According to the Texas Association of Rural and Community Hospitals, over 20 rural hospitals have closed in the last 15 years, leaving communal holes in health care. On Tuesday, Abbott signed a pair of bills to bolster the industry. The first, a sprawling bill known as the Rural Healthcare Stabilization and Innovation Act, an all-encompassing approach to improve the bottom line of rural hospitals. This includes grants for hospitals at risk of closing, grants for hospitals facing emergency hardships, grants for rural hospital innovation, and grants for rural hospital long-term stability and support.
It grants $172 million in new funding, and then continued that with $52 million for funding for existing programs.
Abbott then signed a bill establishing the Rural Ambulance Service Grant Program to address what are called ambulance deserts, where the nearest ambulance station is at least 25 miles away. Right now, nearly 95% of Texas counties have at least one ambulance desert, which this bill attempts to change. Abbott says he understands the importance, recalling a medical crisis that changed his life.
I can vividly remember like it was yesterday when that tree hit me in the back and fractured my vertebrae and my spinal cord, and I was laying on the ground awaiting an ambulance to pick me up. For me, I was only 2 miles from the Houston Medical Center, but it seemed like it took 2 days. What's happening to the people in all of our rural reaches across the entire state of Texas, I cannot even comprehend.
These bills were actually already law as of September 1st, and this signing builds off a conversation had a month ago when U.S. Secretary of Human and Health Services Robert F. Kennedy Jr. showed up to the Capitol to pledge funding for rural hospitals across the nation. In Austin, I'm Adam Schwager.
Adam, thank you. These new state laws come as worries across the country grow over President Trump signing that large spending bill back in July. The law plans to cut more than $1 trillion from programs like Medicaid over the next decade. An analysis by the Cecil G. Sheps Center at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill looked into this. In part, it tracks the closures of rural hospitals. It found more than 300 of these facilities are at risk of closing because of the law. Coming up, a popular app could potentially stay around here in the U.S. The timeline for how soon a TikTok deal will be completed.
Plus, how local schools and the Central Texas Food Bank are stepping up to make sure kids get their next meal.
In-depth, investigative. This is KXAN News at Noon.
The Trump administration is set to deploy federal troops to a growing list of American cities. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Avery Travis.
And I'm Will Dupree. Meanwhile, some demonstrations against ICE happened this weekend in Chicago. NBC's Garrett Hake has the latest from Washington.
The White House strategy of surging federal resources and the National Guard into cities to fight crime set to expand south. The administration preparing to launch a combined mission, including the FBI and National Guard soldiers, into Memphis, Tennessee.
We're going to Memphis. Memphis is
that's the next city.
Deeply troubled. And the mayor is happy. He's a Democrat mayor. The mayor is happy. We're going to fix that just like we did Washington.
I'm certainly not happy about the National Guard.
The city's Democratic mayor saying Saturday this isn't the kind of help his city needs.
The last time the National Guard was in Memphis was 1968 at MLK's after MLK's assassination. And so we don't want to invoke those same images here.
Democrats pointing to Memphis police statistics that show crime at a 25-year low, arguing a surge would be a spectacle.
We need to work at the root causes of crime and not just throw something that looks good on television. This is a Trump television show.
It comes as the Washington Post reports, citing planning documents not confirmed by NBC News, that the Pentagon has drafted a proposal to activate 1,000 Louisiana National Guard troops to serve a law enforcement mission in that state's cities, including New Orleans. The president floating such a move earlier this month.
We're going to come into New Orleans and we're going to make that place so safe.
The White House declining to comment on the report. A Pentagon spokesperson telling NBC News leaked documents should not be interpreted as policy. Over the weekend, parades mixing with public defiance in Chicago and Los Angeles at Mexican Independence Day celebrations.
People want to scare us from our home, but we're not going anywhere.
The two cities have seen recent surges in immigration enforcement, with the president publicly pondering ordering a National Guard deployment in Chicago, too, despite opposition from the state's governor and the certainty of court challenges.
Also in Washington, D.C., Congress has just 7 working days left to avoid a government shutdown. Both sides seem to be positioning themselves to blame lawmakers from the other party if that happens.
We could get a better sense as well of how this could all play out as soon as today. House Republicans are expected to unveil their plan. Any solution is likely to be a short-term fix or a continuing resolution. For the most part, it would keep spending levels where they are until a long-term spending bill is passed. Some Republicans oppose that short-term measure, calling for a long-term plan with more spending cuts.
However, Democrats say they won't agree to any spending measure that doesn't include health care protections. In the Senate, some lawmakers also want to attach new Russia sanctions to the bill. Neither side says they want a shutdown, but there's not much time left to avoid that outcome.
I expect us to be able to solve the budget issues, which the American people expect to be able to do as well. These are hard issues. We're sent to be able to do hard things. We should do hard things on it. We should not, first and foremost, have a government shutdown.
The Republican-only bill that was passed earlier this year, the so-called Big Beautiful Bill, threatens to raise rates for health care for millions of Americans and to throw millions more off of health care. I think there are ways we can reduce the harm to Americans' health care through the appropriations process.
Even if the House can pass its plan this week, the Senate would not be able to bring it to a vote until sometime next week. Central Texas Republican Representative Michael McCall announced he is not seeking re-election next year. McCall represents the 10th Congressional District that includes Leander and Cedar Park in Central Texas, as well as parts of College Station. He put out a statement this weekend online calling it an honor to represent the people of Central Texas and to chair the Homeland Security and Foreign Affairs Committees. He went on to say this, quote, "I am ready for a new challenge in 2027 and look forward to continuing to serve my country in the national security and foreign policy realm."
First warning weather.
Taking a live look from our Indeed domain tower camera here, a lot of haze, making it hard to see downtown.
Yeah, those buildings in the distance, pretty difficult to see there, but meteorologist Rich Siegel is here to give us a better sense about what's in store for the afternoon ahead.
I was checking with the TCEQ about this because I was just as mesmerized by the fact that you can't see much downtown. There is the wildfires still ongoing in Canada, and some smoke has been drifting through the mid-Mississippi Valley into parts of our viewing area. And then I also learned that there is some of that agricultural burning in the southeastern United States that's ongoing right now. So we may be seeing a little bit of that haze in the form of some of those smoke particles that are leading to a moderate air quality forecast for today. So this is what we think we're seeing out there. Temperatures in the low 80s in parts of Gillespie County, the mid and upper 80s to a few at 90 degrees for the rest of the area, up to 91 both at Marble Falls and at Horseshoe Bay. Upper 80s to around 90 in Travis, Williamson, and Hayes counties. A general range, it looks like, of 87 to 90 for the entire portion of that viewing area. And then we're in the low 90s at several locations off to the east. 92 right now at Buckholz, 91 at Elgin, it's 90 at Muldoon, and 90 over at Cedar Creek. Humidity in the 30s in some of the hill country, the 50s in parts of the eastern viewing area. Most are in the 40s right now, dropping more into the 30s later on today. As far as the afternoon, again, we'll see an increase in clouds mainly east of I-35 with low-end rain chances between about 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock today. Avery?
Rich, thank you. The United States and China are reportedly on track for a deal to avoid a ban on TikTok.
The potential deal comes days before a deadline that could have banned the popular video sharing app here in the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said today the country struck a framework for a TikTok deal. He offered few other details about the agreement, but did say he expects that to go through by the end of the week.
We have a framework for a TikTok deal. The two leaders, President Trump and Party Chair Xi, will speak on Friday to complete the deal, but we do have a framework for a deal with TikTok.
President Trump also posted on social media about this, writing an agreement had been reached over, quote, a company that young people in our country very much wanted to save. It is still unclear what kind of agreement was made on a key sticking point. That's control of the TikTok algorithm, which does dictate what users see on the app. Trade talks are picking up again overseas today for the U.S. and China. The two countries are meeting in Spain. This marks the fourth time in 4 months that the delegations have met. They're trying to keep a fractured trade relationship from collapsing amid the president's push for additional tariffs.
September is Hunger Action Month, a campaign aimed at showing the need for food bank volunteers and donations. We know children are many among millions across the country facing food insecurity.
In fact, in Hayes, Travis, and Williamson counties, there are more than 100,000 children facing food insecurity. KXAN's Nabil Ramanda shows us how Austin ISD and the Central Texas Food Bank are trying to help.
At the Galindo Elementary School pantry,
they really love mac and cheese and soups.
There are a lot of options to choose from. Karina Aguian, a mother of 4, she stops here often.
But everything that I cook, they need to eat it.
She says grocery bills can be expensive, but the pantry helps.
This pantry, they made me save like at least $100 a week.
Galindo's principal says the pantry is being utilized all the time by a lot of families.
We have about 92% of our students are economically disadvantaged. It has been an amazing resource for our families.
The need for food assistance for our kiddos is on the rise.
According to the Central Texas Food Bank, between Hayes, Williamson, and Travis counties, there are 104,735 children who are food insecure.
We are in our sort room. We're setting up a shift, getting ready for volunteers.
Sari Vatsky, the CEO of Central Texas Food Bank, says partnering with schools to set up food pantries like the one at Galindo is one way to fight food insecurity.
And this year, we're excited to open our 9th school pantry that we will have for students, and that's in addition to our college pantries that we support as well.
For families like Aguian who use the pantries, it means a little less stress, knowing their kids will get to eat.
Lasagna, I never tried this, but I'm gonna try.
Nabil Ramadna, KXAN News.
Nabil, thank you so much for that story. The Central Texas Food Bank has partnered with districts like Austin ISD, also Del Valle, Hayes, Bastrop, and Lockhart to set up pantries. So if you'd like to volunteer or donate at one of those locations, you can find more information at this story on KXAN.com. Going in depth, the Hayes County Food Bank recently moved to a new location. There, it says it can expand operations and serve more people. The new facility is the county's first client choice market, so it's designed as a grocery store for clients to walk through and pick their choice of items. The food bank says the food insecurity rate in Hayes County is slightly lower than Central Texas as a whole. Still to come, Denver had all of the lights, cameras, and action at its Smart Home Tech Show this past weekend. We'll give you a look at the technology unveiled there. We're taking a live look out in Bastrop. A lot more clouds out in this part of our viewing area today as folks hit the road, maybe heading to grab some lunch here as we head into the back half of our noon hour. Rich is tracking those clouds, some haze in some parts of the area, and of course those hot temperatures as September chugs along. He'll have all of that coming up in your full forecast. First, we want to tell you about a convention in Denver over the weekend where there was a lot of new home technology.
Rich DeMuro takes us there to show some of the latest gadgets we can check out.
CDS started as a gathering for home theater installers to check out what's new.
This is always about what's new, what's next, what's on the horizon. What are the things we haven't thought of yet?
Now it's evolved into a giant home technology show for pros, with everything from massive screens to lighting, sound, and more.
The dream is to have an experience that's all your own.
Show organizers brought me to Denver to see this year's event, with more than 300 exhibitors and nearly 20,000 attendees. My big takeaway, we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with home technology and automation. And while some of the gear has eye-popping price tags, it is getting more affordable for everyday consumers. TCL showed off its brightest TV yet, the QM9, the first to feature Google's Gemini built in.
So you're going to be able to have natural conversations with your TV to find whole new content.
Plus a wireless speaker system called Flex Connect.
It automatically calibrates the entire system in about 10 seconds. And now you hear sound coming from over your shoulder here, even though there's not a speaker there. It really fills the room with sound.
Sound is always a big theme. L-acoustic speakers, usually at venues like the Hollywood Bowl or Coachella, are also available for home.
We have something called a sonic signature, which is kind of that feeling of that when you're at that live event. So why wouldn't you want that same experience at home?
This 60-inch subwoofer is so big, you might need a crane to move it. Okay, now that's a speaker.
It's not for everyone, but if you've got a big home theater and you've got all the toys, this is the next toy.
Price tag, $170,000. Just make sure your house and your neighbors can handle it. Lighting also an important part of the show.
CCT, color temperature. And the warmer, the lower the number of color temperature, the warmer it is. The higher, the cooler it is. Cooler color temperatures tell us wake up, get in action, get going. Warmer color temperatures tell us relax, chill out, and get ready for bed.
And to control it all, Josh AI showing off a remote with physical buttons and built-in voice control.
It's simple to be able to command like dim the lights by the pool and lower the temperature, or open the door at the front gate.
You know what? I can't let go of that giant speaker.
$170,000.
I mean, I feel like it would be about as big as this monitor back here behind us, too.
I think they were right to say warn your neighbors, too. If
It's going to like blast them out of the neighborhood, yeah.
Have quite the house party with that.
Yes. Well, we've reached the afternoon. Let's check the radar. We see a few showers coming later on today, but right now the radar is quiet. It will stay quiet for most all of the area today. It's only a very small handful of counties that might see a little bit of the rain. We go back out to Bastrop. Avery is certainly correct about there being more clouds out there. and most of the clouds that we'll see today will be in our eastern viewing area. This will depict a mostly cloudy sky. The view from our Ally Medical Emergency Room camera in Bastrop. Mold, fall elm, grass, and ragweed are low. The fall elm and the grass are a little lower in number today. The other two, mold and ragweed, are a little higher. Highs today in the low to mid 90s. Normal high today is 92. Some upper 80s remain in the hill country. Lows tomorrow morning, normal 70 will be in the mid and upper 60s to around 70, 71. Pretty much like we saw this morning. As far as clouds and radar, the clouds are not being depicted too well on our clouds and radar graphic, but again, just a few teeny tiny showers possible. Bastrop, Lee, Fayette, Caldwell counties between about 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock this evening. Sun goes down, will be mainly clear overnight, and then we'll see another repeat of the sun in the morning with scattered clouds Tuesday, a bit more cloud cover Wednesday. Possible light rain on Thursday, slightly better chance of showers and maybe an isolated thunderstorm. And I think primarily the time frame for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday's weather will be mid to late afternoon into the early evening, all 3 days. I don't think we'll see much in the morning, but this is what the American model is suggesting that we could see over the weekend as far as any rain is concerned. Penny's worth to a dime across the hill country, 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of the darker green shade for some sections along and east of I-35. And if we see any of these numbers, it'll be primarily Fayette, Bastrop, and Caldwell counties that might get that at a few reporting stations down there. All right, we're looking at a weather system in the Atlantic. This is still nothing more than just an area of showers and storms moving to the northwest. 40% chance of tropical development over the next 2 days, 80% over the next 7. And the National Hurricane Center is calling this an invest. We've talked about that before, where they go in and they investigate to see what may be going on in there. And if this does become our 7th named storm of the year, her name would be Gabrielle. And then we have another weather system in the Pacific that is following on the heels of what is currently Tropical Storm Mario. Nothing in the Central Pacific, but Mario re-intensified over the latter part of the weekend. Still a tropical storm, has about another day or so of a life cycle before it kind of ends as we get into the middle of the week. All right, today 95, 10% chance of rain east of I-35 and primarily Fayette, maybe Caldwell, Bastrop, Lee. Mid-90s for the rest of the week. Low rain chance Thursday, little higher rain chance Friday afternoon into the early evening, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Avery?
Thanks, Rich. Still to come, we're taking a look at some of the biggest winners in entertainment at last night's Emmy Awards.
Plus a world record now stuck in limbo. We'll explain why after this. But first, here's a look at what's coming up. Here's a look, as we were saying, about what's coming up on KXAN Plus, our free streaming service. At 2, it's Southeast Sports. Tonight at 6:30, it's The Horns Report and Simple Health at 8, followed by Border Report at 8:30.
Welcome back, everybody. It was a busy and historic night in Hollywood as it hosted its 77th annual Primetime Emmy Awards. Lots of wins from popular shows, awards for Hacks, The Pit, Severance, The Studio, and more. Speaking of Severance there, Tremel Tillman made history as the first Black actor to win in the supporting category for a drama series. Adolescence won Best Limited Series. The Late Show with Stephen Colbert won Best Variety Talk Series, and SNL 50 won Best Variety Special.
In Nigeria, a massive pot holding an even more massive amount of jollof rice collapsed during a world record attempt. The chef was attempting to make the world's largest pot of the popular West African dish, and according to reports, the pot could hold almost 60,000 gallons. The chef's team says they are working to collect evidence from different cameras so that Guinness World Record officials could still recognize the record despite being unable to weigh the pot. Oof. That is so sad. Now, what is not so sad is what happened at the Emmy Awards. There were so many great shows honored there. I'm a lover of TV, of course, but the one win that really got me was Jeff Hiller. He won Best Supporting Actor for Somebody Somewhere. It's a show on HBO. It's a little show, but it is one of the most wonderful, funny, touching stories that you can watch. There's 3 seasons, pretty short episodes. Okay. I would highly recommend that you do.
Okay.
What's it called again?
Somebody Somewhere.
Somebody Somewhere.
And he is downright delightful in it. So when I saw him win last night, I was like, Oh
beaming.
my gosh, yeah, it was amazing.
Okay,
Yeah.
a good wreck.
And and the series ended, so there won't be any more. So this was the final time he could be nominated.
All right.
And he got it.
Good for him.
Yeah.
We love that kind of story.
It was great. It is so great. I'm an evangelist for this show, so I will be like,
Okay.
go watch it, please.
All right. Let's check the after-school forecast. When you go get your children today, partly cloudy. We'll be in the low to mid-90s. Most of the clouds will be east of I-35. I think we stay mostly sunny in the hill country. 10% chance of rain east of I-35. And then for the early evening forecast, we'll fall into the upper 80s. Scattered clouds during the early part of the evening to a mostly clear sky overnight. Freddie Vela, who normally would have been here for this show, will be joining the 4 and 5 and 6 and 9 and 10 shows because Nick Bannon has the day off. So Freddie will join you at 4 o'clock.
All right, thank you, Rich, and thank you all for watching here this afternoon. We'll see you back here in about 20 minutes for another update. Stay with us.